So the Bladder is finished flowering and it's created a bunch of new seeds here. So it sits inside here. Then I unfold here and then it's almost like a hard ball. When they are all brown, means that the seeds are ready in here. So I'll just show you guys. Look at that. So when the seeds here are like this brown, almost black color, it means you can collect the seeds. So I collect them here in coffee filters with a name tag on, and then I sow them in winter in the greenhouse, and then in spring when it gets warmer they start to germinate. You can also let nature do its thing and let the mother plant here just self-sow, but it can be hard to know what is a weed and what is a new baby Bladder.
So for this, we're using regular potting soil because it's the cheapest. We did add water beforehand. That'll help our seeds not get lost and tossed around in the tray.
Oh, and if you want to see a great video on how to winter sow, click the link here.
Good job, Lars.
Look at the seed pods of the Bladder. It's so pretty. So here you can actually just like pop them open here and all the seeds will go out. I'll show you down here how the seed looks like. It's like a little black, almost tiny seeds. I'm just gonna drizzle them over here. There we go, a little bit more here. And they are also really good at just self-sowing out in the garden. So do be aware of that. And I'll take a handful of soil on top, just like this. Sprinkle over here. Spread it out a little bit. Then I'll add my name tag here so I know what kind of seed it is for later. I'll pop it out in the greenhouse on a shelf, just leave it there and let nature do all its magic. I'll every 2 weeks spray with some water if the surface seems dry, and then when they finish germinating and has grown a little bit, I'll be ready to put them out in the garden once it's warmer.
Now it's time to place these in the glass house. They're going to need sunlight and they're going to need to be watered once every 2 weeks with a little sprayer. Just keep an eye on them. Once these seedlings start to sprout, they'll be ready to plant out directly in the garden come springtime. So it's been January, February, March, April. It's been 4 months since we winter sowed this plant, and look at it. It's done super well. We've taken it out of the meat tray. You can see under here that the roots are doing really well. Exactly. So now it's time to put this little guy into some bigger pots, which we'll put back into the greenhouse until they get a bit bigger, and then we'll either sell them or we'll put them out in our garden. So all we do is we divide it. For example, here I've already ripped some apart, and I'm going to go ahead and plant them in groups. Now, unlike a lot of perennials, you don't have to wait until that second set of leaves come, because for our area, this plant is really quite hardy. So I pull them apart. You don't have to be gentle. Put a little hole in your pot. Stick this guy in. This is where I use a popsicle stick to kind of make sure those roots, get really pushed down in the soil. If any are still on top, you can top it off with a little bit of dirt. Otherwise, keep it moist, keep it in the greenhouse, give it some more heat as the weather starts warming up in the spring, and you'll be glad for it later on.